Hey, my name's Jesse James, and today I'm going to be talking about the most unique bike in Harley's lineup. With a running weight of 500 pounds and an engine boasting over 100 horsepower, one of the most unique headlights in all of motorsports. Not quite your naked style sport bike, but definitely not your average Harley. This is the Sportster S. So here at the start of the video, I'm gonna give like a walk around of the different high points of the bike. Halfway through, I'll give you like test ride feedback of how I feel about it. And then at the end, I'll show you different pricing breakdowns straight from Harley's website. And then throughout the entire video, I'll give my different thoughts and opinions of little things just kind of as we go. So starting up in the front with the tire setup, it's definitely one of the most unique tire setups in Harley's lineup because it's that naked, almost cafe style where it's the big beefy wheels. It's very reminiscent of the 48, but up in the front we are going to be sporting a 17-inch rim, and on the rear is 16, but it is going to be a tubeless. Now for the actual riding of this tire, for the lean of it, I feel like it's okay. It's nothing quite really to write home about, as it were, but I've never felt like this bike was going to slide out from underneath me just because of the way that the tires are sculpted. It's definitely struck me more as a flat track bike though, instead of just like a road everyday bike. Right down here, I'll also point out you are going to have the TPMS sensor in that as part of the wheel, and you also that outward facing stem valve, which makes it a whole lot easier to air up the tires. I know at this point, I think I've pointed out in every single one of my reviews of the 2025 bikes, but it wasn't that long ago you were having to fight around calipers in order to get, rotors in order to air up your tires. So I will never not appreciate that fact there. Something else that strikes me as odd is up in the front, you'll notice this bike only has one single disc braking. Now again, I've never felt like the bike was getting away from me with only one disc up in the front, and maybe it was just to like show off that tire more with not having anything on this side. And it definitely does the job because you will notice the tires, but I do wonder if having a second brake up in the front would be a thing for inspiring more confidence. Y'all let me know what your thoughts are down there. But with this bike being very sport bike and like essentially chasing that naked style bike in style, I would like to see two discs up in the front just because you see that on sport bikes. Something else that you'll also notice is this does have an inverted front end. They do have cartridges up in the top so that you can adjust the suspension tweak it and make it more of along the lines of what you're looking for. But on a bike this light, having that front end definitely helps to keep it more planted, because with the power to weight, that front end does come up a little easy in my opinion. But inverted front forks, always really nice to see. Now up here in the front, you will notice that this has what I call the Beats Pill headlight from Harley-Davidson. I know some people really don't like that look, but I really dig it just because it's entirely different. But I also like this headlight when it was just on the Fat Bob. But that is going to be fully LED, and then your turn signals are also going to be running lights that are also LED. So the Sportster S is boasting a different tank badge this year, and I actually like this much better than the bronze writing that's been on the Sportster S since it came out. This is a whole lot better. I'm also just a fan of real badges instead of just stuff that's down in the paint. Fuel-wise, you're going to be looking at 3.1 gallons. Now, I will tell you that you are going to be looking at about a gallon of that's just going to be fuel pump. So from pump to pump, you're probably only going to be putting about 2 gallons in it before you get it filled all the way back up. This is going to be rocking the 1250 Revolution Max motor. So this is one of the fully liquid cooled motors. Personally, I really dig the Rev Max motor. It's plenty of power, and the blacked out accents that have come out for 2025, personally I think are fantastic. I like this a whole lot better. Bronze was just really played out for me, man. So this like black with the red accents is really nice looking. And then with this motor, the motor's built first and everything else is just kind of bolted around it, which is what makes it have that super light feeling whenever you're sitting on it in the showroom. Now down here is actually something I'm not too big of a fan of. I really don't like the forward controls on the Sportster S. It just leads to an awkward riding position, but I'll get into that a little bit later whenever we get to the test drive portion of the video. Now, whenever you're looking at it at a distance, this part of the bike takes up most of the profile, and it is actually the exhaust. So it's stylized to look like it is closer to a true dual setup, but all of this is one massive heat shield, right? And to me, it's actually one of the things I really don't like on this setup, because not only am I just not a fan of the styling, but whenever you remove all that heat shield, you can see it's just one massive cat back here. But whenever you remove all those heat shields and stuff, you can see it's actually just one massive cat back there that, again, shaped to look true dual. And I know that for me personally, with the Sportster S's that have been here on trade, looking for new owns, pre-owned as it were, if they sit for a little bit, because they are just so choked up by that massive cat on there, you've got to let them warm up for quite some time before they're able to actually turn over and do what they're built to do. Because even with the stuff that I've already said I'm not crazy about, this bike really is a ripper on the road. While we're down here, I'll actually point out the other thing I'm not crazy about. I don't mind so much the single red brake light back there with the turn signals. I just think we could have put it in a better place. Like, I'm not crazy of just an extra bar that pops up back here for both the license plate and the tire. Well, both the license plate and the brake lights. I would have really dug it if it was more up here and illuminated. I think it would have given it a more custom look. While we're back here, though, it'll let me point out two other things that I really do like on the Sportster S. So down here, you'll see an adjustment knob. That is where you can adjust your rear suspension. For the 2025 model year, they have increased the suspension on the Sportster S by a total of 60% compared to the previous years of the Sportster S. Whenever they did that, they also tweaked the front end suspension with the extra travel on the rear end, the front end's also matched to it. But that has changed the ride on this and made it more comfortable with that extra travel suspension. One of the other things I'll point out, sorry about the shaky camera work, this one's a real awkward one, is like on most Harleys, you do have a charging spot, USB-C here on the side of the bike. It's going to be on the kickstand side right by the forks with this little cap there. So this is going to be your view from the cockpit, as it were. Same style of controls like with all of our Revolution Max platforms. Over here, to go through it, this is where you'll have your modes button, because this bike does have different modes that you can toggle through. On and off switch that you'll actually pull towards you whenever you want it in run mode. Starter up there. Hazard button. Now, even though this bike doesn't have speakers or anything, it does have a way to where you can Bluetooth your phone, and if you have like a headset Bluetooth to it as well, you can control your music through there. Down there, you're going to be able to have just push to talk, and then traction control button. Over on this side, you are going to have heated grips, passing lamp, high beam, cruise control to set, reset. This is how you can cycle through your trip A, trip B. Different options here on the menu to go through not only just your home menu, but also like your settings and different things like that. I'll show you that button a little more here in a second. How you can navigate the screen, home button, and then because this is a metric style bike, that's where your turn signal is going to be, and then your horn. The turn signal being down here, very different for American cruisers. And then I didn't point it out earlier, but that's the spot specifically where you can actually adjust your forks for up in the front and tweak them a little bit with a flathead tool. The other thing I wanted to take a second to point out is, so this bike is supporting a full suite of braking from Brembo, not just the calipers and rotors, but like everything touching the brakes. It's by Brembo. You do have adjustable front brake and adjustable clutch on this bike as well, which is a very nice touch. So this is going to be your 4.5 TFT display whenever the bike's on. It's looking a little washed out on camera, but that's not what it's actually going to look like in person. I'll try and get a few different angles of it to see if I can't show you some of the different icons. I'll show you the modes button right now. It'll be up there at the top portion of the screen. So actually a better way to show the modes is by showing you all the different modes. So if you hit that little button there, it's going to bring up this screen, which will allow you to go through all the different options. Now this will have a navigation through the Harley-Davidson app. If you have your phone Bluetooth up to it, and with the Harley app, you can get a navigation put up onto there, and it'll show different maps. I've heard varying reviews. Some people really don't like it. Others are meh about it, but it's a free navigation, which is something that on touring bikes has definitely been missed. So any form of that we can get it on bikes, I personally say go for it. Over here, this will be your basic diagnostic screen. And then this is your settings where you can actually customize stuff. I'll go down to ride customization to change the different ride modes. This is all the modes that it comes with out of the box. It's road mode, sport mode, rain mode. And on this bike, you are actually going to have a custom A and a custom B ride mode. Now with those two custom modes, what it's going to let you do is it's going to kind of let you pick and play from the 3 set modes that come on the bike of road, sport, and rain. Take the things you like, leave the ones you don't, and make your own custom modes. So the example I give all the time is I personally don't like the way that Harley has done sport mode on any of the bikes, but specifically with throttle response. I've always just felt like it's way too twitchy. So for me, I would personally take sport mode, and then tweak it to have the throttle response of road mode. One of the other perks of having those different modes is if you are a newer rider, or while you're just getting comfortable with the bike, in rain mode, the bikes are going to be far more watered down as you're getting used to it, because it's going to have its safety suite going nuts. It's like in its highest setup, it's going to make it to where your engine is not going to be able to rev super high, and you're not going to be able to whiskey throttle. It's going to be a slower progression. Again, for newer riders, that's all stuff that can help out a lot, not just whenever it's in inclement weather. So being in that rain mode and work your way through to road mode and sport is something that I recommend for newer riders, but also as an experienced rider, it might be something that you enjoy. And then the last thing I'll bring up when talking about the review of this motor is with this motor, it's very different than Harley motors usually. Usually Harley motors are happy around that 2,000 to 3,000 RPM range. It's really where it wants you to be. On this bike, and for the Revolution Max platform just in general, its happy spot's really going to be at that 4 to 6, with its red line being a lot closer to 9. So whenever you go out and test ride on one of these bikes, get up there into where the power band's really at, and don't short shift that bike. The last thing that I point out, and I'm trying to make a point to point this out with all of the bikes that are being made overseas, that has a Rev Max motor, it is not made here in the States. They're actually being made overseas. These are the only ones that are being made overseas is the Revolution Max platform. So if you're a person that you're wanting Harleys that are only made here in the States, 2025, they are no longer making that here stateside. It's being made overseas. And a lot of that has to do is with these smaller bikes, they're just doing a lot better in towns that are more compact, whereas over here in like Evansville, Indiana, the Midwest just in general, you're really about 45 minutes from everywhere. So sporties really don't do that well here, but overseas, a whole lot better. So now on to the test ride portion of the video, which is where I give my feedback on it and what I personally think on it. So for me, I absolutely adore the power plant on this bike. The Revolution Max motor is a whole lot of fun, and when you ride it the way that it's intended to be ridden, a whole lot of power. Like, it takes no effort to get that front wheel to come up off the ground, completely stock, not even messed with. My biggest gripe on the bike, however, has to do with the riding position. So I think that this is a bike that would do a whole lot better with either a little bit of a riser on the bars so your arms are in a better spot, or more mid controls, because the forward muscle cruiser stance, it just doesn't work for me. I know some people like that setup, like on the Triumph Rocket 3, but it just doesn't work for me, so I'm not crazy about that. The other big complaint that I have on it really is the seat. That seat, it just doesn't feel like it's doing anything for you. It's not comfortable, and you're liable to slide off the back almost, it feels like. So those are my two big complaints with it. The positive really is it just has a big power plant. And for me, I would rather feel that on the Pan Americas. The Nightster even feels like it's more set up correctly. The Sportster S, beyond that power plant, I struggle to find anything I really enjoy on it. But that is my thoughts. I've never actually had a review where I felt like it was that negative, but I'm going to give you my honest feedback on the Sportster S. I've had some people that have bought them from me, and they actually adore it. But this is definitely no matter which way you cut it, this is really a short, round town cruiser. Very, very fast. Now on to the pricing. So this is all pulled from Harley-Davidson's website. Starting price for the Sportster S is going to be $15,999. That is going to be for the Billiard Gray, which is Harley's baseline color. I have yet to see this set up in person, but I have seen the Billiard Gray and the Sportster S with the bronze, and it's okay. Nothing to write home on, but it's not a bad look at all. Next, we'll go over to the Vivid Black, which is an additional $500 upcharge. This is the color that I've used for most of this video. I really dig this setup on the Sportster S. It feels like we've finally gotten like that Batman style looking bike here on the showroom, and the minimalist badge, it's a legit badge. It just really works on this bike. Next, we'll go over to the Brilliant Red. This is $750 for this color upcharge. So I have seen the Brilliant Red on the Road Glides and other bikes in the profile. I don't know if it would really be like my right home favorite color of the year, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Next, we'll go over to the Mystic Shift. And I gotta say, I figured this color would be more popular this year, but it's proving to be a color that it looks great, but not a lot of people taking it home. But still great. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. $900 for that color upcharge. And that is going to do it for today's video and review of the Sportster S. What are your thoughts on the Sportster S? Is it a bike that you've had a chance to ride on? Do you like it? Do you think Harley was a big miss on this bike? Curious what you guys have to say on it. More than anything, though, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy these bike reviews or want to see more behind-the-scenes content of what it's like working at a Harley-Davidson dealership, consider subscribing because that's what I do here. But more than anything, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you out there riding.